there's where your fuse blocks would. There's where your fuse box will mount. Try that again. There is where your fuse block will mount if you don't have it in the truck. It's lazy ass Sunday, and well, I'm definitely being lazy today. First weekend since my wall where I haven't had to do anything. So it's exactly what I'm doing. It's nothing. I'm gonna make this video for No Parts Garage. He was asking me about how the wiring routes in the 68 to 72 or 67 72. I usually leave out 67 because it is quite a bit different than the 68 to 72 on a few different things. Anyways, I got my 69 here, so I'll kind of, I don't know, video. I'm not exactly sure what he's looking for, but I'll kind of give you an idea. So on these trucks, a lot of years they'll have the wiring all come out on one side, one basically loom on the side, and then run across the course board. Well, on this one it does not. So this comes out, you have a harness coming out of here, and if you need colors, let me know. I can throw together some colors. But it also connects to a loom that goes down. You can see the connector. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, there's another connector. That connector basically takes the wiring on down to the back of the truck for your taillight, fuel sender, things like that. That's where it connects down there. And it looks like it's a 4, yeah, yellow, green, brown. So your standard trailer color wires from the looks of it. This harness also, I believe, it also tees off for the washer reservoir, which is right here. I have the electronic washer in this truck. And then this is the driver's side headlights coming out of the same loom as well. Headlight turn. And not the horn. The horn's on this side. So instead of having wiring come across like you would normally see, or come across the core support, it's actually behind the dash, and there's another section of it that comes out over here. Okay, now this one here will run down to your starter solenoid, horn relay, and then of course you'll see here's the connector for the alternator charging. And then this is the remainder of the charging to the charging regulator. Oh my god, just lose my mind. And then you also have, if you go back behind here, there's a wire that runs behind the battery. You just barely see it. This will come up and do your turn signal and headlights on this side. Let's see what else. And then you see at the firewall, I have some wires coming out there. Now I can't say if that's necessarily factory because a lot of the stuff has been added in, but I do believe the actual engine wiring comes out there. It doesn't tie in over here like some years. As the wiring would go across, it would drop, different drops of wiring for different things. It comes out of the firewall here. Now I'll go open the hood of my 68 and see if it's any different. Oh, I got shit on it. Maybe I can't. But this is pretty much how the engine bay goes, and you'll have to have the wiring come, because the fuse block is right on the other side of the wall. I don't know if you can see the screws. They might be underneath the fender part. But your fuse block is in that vicinity right there, and it comes right through the firewall here. And like I said, that wiring will take it down to the taillights and everything else that goes backwards. And then, I think your brake light switch is also in the same bunch here. So it's fairly straightforward. If you need colors, let me know. It's hard to dissimulate. You said you had like 3 different harnesses, so it's hard to really say which 3 you have and where they go without taking a look at them. Let me see if I can open this without knocking those off of there. Okay, same thing. Sorry, it's a little dark. But same idea. There's that harness again. This is on a 68. Of course, it comes over. Starter relay, horn relay. There's the wire that comes over, does the headlight turn signal on the right side. And then there's your charging harness with the part off the back of the alternator, and then this goes up the regulator and your horn. Sorry. And then see, there's the wiring right there. I had, for whatever reason, I have mine all puttied up with something, but those wires right there, it looks like there's 3 of them. Yeah, those come across to the engine, and those run your ignition, oil, and temperature. And then over on this side, see, there's the electric washer pump right there. Of course, busted off. Plastic gets brittle. And same thing. Their harness coming out from back side of where the fuse block is, comes down, and it splits into, you'll have a neutral safety in that area or a jumper. My other truck's got a jumper on it. This one here, I believe the neutral safety switch was probably functioning, so it's hooked up in that area. And then you go down, there's a four plug that goes down underneath the cab. And of course you'll have, I believe the brake valve, that turns on the light in the dash says brake, is because this is a drum brake truck. Yeah, there it is down there. If you look down below the steering box down there, there's 2 wires that'll go down to that to flip that light on, or maybe it's 1 wire, I can't remember which. And then this truck has some kind of auxiliary. I'm not sure what this is. It's some kind of auxiliary harness for either a dual battery, or maybe it was a generator setup or something. I don't know if that's factory or not, but this is a harness mainly just runs the turn signal and headlight on the driver's side. But I have seen in some shop manuals, books, or whatever, that this also has optional equipment that sits on this inner fender, and this could have been the optional generator or something, or maybe some kind of a tow package option. I don't know exactly for sure, but hard to say if this was added in or not. It looks like factory wiring to me. It's just been taped up for 100 years. If you need stuff from under the dash, I mean, I can do that too. Usually if you lay it out on the floor and it's been in a vehicle, in that truck or another one, it should pretty much be form fit, especially as old as it is. So, and it is pretty self-explanatory, especially when you get the fuse block into where it's supposed to go. Actually, I think I can get a picture of that on this one here, because these should be all about the same. Oh, I locked it. Hang on a second. Alright, let's try it with it unlocked. Ugh. Don't mind how dirty it is. I haven't cleaned it forever. It's kind of been my beat on truck lately. And mind you, I did the wiring in this 20 years ago, so I got a little rat's nest of crap going on I should clean up. There's where your fuse blocks would there's where your fuse box will mount. Let me try that again. There is where your fuse block will mount if you don't have it in the truck. The hole that goes through the firewall, oh boy, it's kind of hard. It's just above it. I don't know if I can show that in the camera there. You see it? There it is. So that's where it comes through the firewall right there. In any other wiring, you're going to have your dome light and cargo lights, and just going to go up the A-pillar and across. There's no really any other funny business going underneath the cab. Oh, and the fuel sender will go the same way too. Because if you still have the in-cab tank like I do, there's the fuel sender wire right there on this guy. If you have the extra tank in the bed, I think they had an optional one on the passenger side as well, but there's usually another one right up here in this body style if you have the dual tank option. Now that one would probably go under the cab to this one here. But yeah, most of the wiring is pretty much, it doesn't cross the cowl actually. Oh boy, it looks like a mess under there. I was 20 some odd years old when I put this back together, so excuse the mess. I wasn't caring about what things looked like back then, but I mean, I didn't really take it that far apart either. So, but anyways, I'm not 100% sure what everything you need to know, but I can tell you that if you laid the wiring out and, you know, laid them out, it will probably kind of give you an idea of how it goes. And I noticed the truck's pretty well ripped apart, so it's pretty easy to get to a lot of the stuff with the dash and all this garbage in here. The glove box and the ashtray, the radio and all that crap, the dash big time. If that's in there, then it makes it a little bit harder to get around. But with all that stuff out, which you'd want out anyways, including the steering column, makes it a heck of a lot easier to get to all that stuff. So let me know if you need some more information on how that stuff routes. I would lay them out and see if you have, if there are 3 different harnesses, that's great. It means you should have pretty much most of what you need for the truck. If there are 3 very similar harnesses, we might have a problem. Or he just has spare harnesses and the others are still in the truck currently. I don't know. I didn't really notice all what you had there. It was kind of a quick video. And I might have spare stuff. I parted out a couple of these 67 to 72s. I think the one I parted out was a 71, the last one. Yeah, because there's its bed behind the white truck. I turned it into a trailer. So if you are missing parts and they're not in bad shape in that harness, you know, I can always hook you up with that too. Or you probably find it local. There's got to be several of these trucks sitting around somewhere. They sold enough of them. So anyways, as far as the wiring that went from underneath back to the taillights, it's all just going to be in the frame rail. And I don't know, yeah, just need to be inside the driver frame rail and run straight back to the bumper, and the wiring goes underneath the bed, underneath the tailgate area. It's real typical, real easy. Like I said, lay the stuff out and you probably won't have any problem figuring it out. It's just on the engine bay, nothing crosses the firewall, nothing crosses the core support unless you have the optional dual horn setup. Then that wire comes from there to here. Other than that, there's no wires that cross the core support. You'll have a left side headlight harness and a right side headlight harness. Wiring for the engine pokes through the firewall on its own. And like I said, this one here comes down, services your, I have disc brakes on this truck, but normally it would drop all the way down to the drum valve. I think I extended or added or did something with the wire to bring it up to here because I moved the valve up here for the disc brakes. Taillights. Then of course you'll have the part running across the dash over here to service your start, your solenoid, charging, passenger lights, horn relay, and the regulator. It should be pretty simple. These trucks are real easy to do, so don't overthink it, and don't freak out if it doesn't work either. All right, let me know if you need anything else, colors or any of that stuff. Sometimes, let's see, I might have a shop manual. I don't know if I have one for a 72. Most of the wiring is about the same colors. They don't really change them very much. I noticed playing with these and playing with the 50s trucks and even into the 40s, the colors are very, very close to the same. So it shouldn't be that hard to figure out. Now GM and Ford are obviously different, but amongst the Fords, the color combinations are usually the same for the same purposes. Headlights, taillights, you know, so on and so forth. If you need anything else, let me know. See if I can help. There might be plenty of other videos out there too that can help out, but I figure I'd do this for you real quick and hopefully it helps out. If not, let me know and I can always try and find something more out for you. Later.